Okay, hi class, how you guys doing? I'm on this page right here, click through prototype example, and just so you know where I'm at, right here, I'm in preview, okay, and I come right down here, click through prototype example. And this page right here is kind of describing the clickable prototype example that we're going to be developing in this class. So basically, we've got two different approaches here. This one, as it says here, I know you may not know about HTML, but I believe that you can insert links using InDesign. And that's what this first example is right here. This is inserting links in a basic InDesign document and exporting to PDF. This is a perfectly viable way of building a prototype. However, it should be known that this is not a completely interactive prototype. It's just a series of hyperlinks. The difference between using this technique and one of the online tools, applications for prototype building, is that the online tools will be fully interactive. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now, if I click on this first one right here, it'll take you to this example right here. And as you can see in this example right here, we have this navigation. It'll take us to the different pages. And then also we have this other navigation here that shows the different buttons and what happens when you click these different buttons. Okay, so this is, and as you can see, it just jumps to different pages in the main navigation. So this is a perfectly viable way of building a prototype. And I'm going to demonstrate this for those of you who are not as well versed as others in HTML or in the online prototyping tools. This is for you. For those of you who are experienced in coding in HTML or do have experience in online prototyping tools, by all means, have at it. Okay, take this as far as you want. At a minimum, we would be looking for this type of a configuration with a clickable PDF. Now, I want to show you the difference here between the two. Okay, if we do this method using a PDF to create hyperlinks within the same document, and just to demonstrate how the functionality of your app works, that's fine. However, I just want to draw your attention to this. Now, this second example right here is the same example as this, except this one is done with an online tool. And let's go ahead and jump to that. Now, as you can see, the only difference here, what you're seeing, is that this phone is black and this phone is white, right? The page is different. I think that we have a different page loaded, but other than that, it's the same. The difference that you're going to see with an online tool is, let me show you. Let's just do this. And I want to show you in this FAQ, frequent asked questions here. This is scrollable. Okay, we can't do that in InDesign. So as you can see, there's just one example of how an online prototyping tool is really the most engaging way to display and demonstrate the functionality of your app. Now, as I said, though there are going to be those in the class that aren't that familiar, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. The class is about understanding prototyping and what goes behind it. So as your experience builds, you will learn HTML. You will learn how to create an interactive prototype using coding an interactive prototype or using online applications, online tools to a prototyping app to create a fully functional prototype. Okay, there. That said, let's jump into this process right here where we're going to create a PDF and we're going to add hyperlinks. Okay, so here's my document. All right, it's just a basic PDF. I'm sorry, it's a basic InDesign document. It's 5 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and as you can see, I've got this set up. In each page, this is set up more as a wireframe, guys, and this is more set up just for demonstration, okay? Your prototype is going to be it's going to have all of your graphics in place, all of your live type in place, everything is going to be in place. What I've done here is I've just kind of wireframed these to make them, so you can realize that they're different screens. So we're going to show you how to navigate from one screen to the next so that you could feasibly demonstrate or have somebody click through when you're doing user testing, click through and give you their feedback based on their experience. Okay, so first thing we have to do is of course, create the pages, right? So each of your pages is just a series of stills. There's 5 InDesign pages, so you can have any one of these pages could be placed in the InDesign document, right? Any one of these. Okay, then, so what we do here is once you're set up, you completely set up your different pages with your different screens, okay? Mine's only 5 pages. There's a good chance yours is going to be at least twice the amount here, but take it as far as you want, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to create this clickable navigation that we see here, okay? And I'm going to also show you how to do these little buttons here to bring it to the next page, okay, or whatever page that they're linked to. Okay, so as far as this goes, these are just set up 1 through 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up my navigation on page 1, right? And then I'm going to copy it and paste it to page 2, 3, 4, and 5. That way we don't have to repeat this process on every page. So first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select page 1. I am on page 1, but I'm going to select page 1. Then I'm going to come up to the InDesign menu across the top of the screen. I'm going to come to type, and I'm going to come down to where it says hyperlinks and cross references, and I'm going to click new hyperlink. Okay, it's going to bring out this new hyperlink dialog box. We're going to link it. You can see there's a lot of choices here, but we're going to link it to a page within the document. Okay, this is the document we're going to link it to. We're going to link it to itself because this is page 1, and it goes to page 1, right? So everything else is fine default. All right, let's click OK. All right, that's page 1. Let's go to this. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Type. We'll go to hyperlinks and cross references, new hyperlink. We'll say page 2 here. Okay, click OK. And then just go through all of them and make those changes. Hyperlink, new hyperlink. This is page 3. This one will be page 4. This one will be page 5. Type, hyperlinks across references, new hyperlink. Click over to page 5. Okay, that's it. That's it, guys. Believe it or not, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this out. Let's go ahead and actually, you know what I'm going to do first? Before I do that, I'm going to take this. And I know it's going to work because it can't not work, right? It's set up perfectly. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take that. I'm going to marquee select all of those. I'm going to say Command copy. I'm going to come to page 2. And in page 2, I want to make sure it's in the exact same place, right? So let's go to edit, paste in place. Okay, then we'll go to page 3. And we'll go edit, paste in place. Let's go to page 4. Let's go to edit, paste in place. And then we'll do the same thing for page 5. Edit, paste in place. Okay, we are looking great here. Now what we're going to do is this. Let me save this out real quick. Let me see what I'm going to do. Let's go save this. And then what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and export this. And we'll export this to this is Clickable Prototype example. It's an interactive Adobe PDF. I'll just click save. I've got it saved out to my desktop. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll just go ahead, and this should open. This is just telling me I've got conflicting color space. That's okay. All right, here is our document. There's page 2, there's page 3, there's page 4, there's page 5. Okay, so let's go back to page 1. All right, now I'm going to close this, and I want to show you how to create these little buttons in here so that when your viewer will know to click here to go to the next page. Okay, sorry about that. Works like a charm, right? Very cool. All right, now what I want to do is I want to show you how to do these little guys right here. Okay, so that's the point of interest. That's the point of the subject matter. Okay, that's the subject of the page, right? So we're going to click that, and see that takes you to another page. Then we have these, and these are just showing your viewer the different functionality. Okay, some of the different the ways that the transitions for the app, right? And this is a little demonstration, right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to do those. And let's just go here right to page 1. So if you can imagine, this could be like a sign up page, you know, sign up, sign in. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pretend this is a sign in page or sign up page. Okay, so we'll click this to sign in. That'll take us to this page, and then where you can fill in your information and then enter, okay? Or, you know, use your imagination here, but I'm not real sure how the functionality of your mobile app will be, but that's just one small example. Okay, so what we'll do here is let's just go ahead and I'm gonna go to my ellipsis tool right here, and I'm gonna select my circle and my ellipsis tool, and I'm gonna come over here, and I wanna make sure I've got a black stroke, and I'm gonna give that a red fill, all right? What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna hold my shift key down because I want this to be a perfect circle. Okay, and now don't forget this is going to be superimposed over text and or images, so it's telling the viewer that that's where the click is going to happen, all right? But right now, if this is over text or images, it's just taking up too much visual weight. And what I want to do is I just want to reduce the opacity. It's there. So with that selected, I'm going to come to my properties panel, and I'm just going to come right over here to opacity, and I'm just going to really reduce that so that you can see through it. Now it's indicating that something is happening there, right? But you can see through it, just like we see here, right here. See how that's transparent? Okay, so what we do now is we take that, now that's selected, right? With that selected, the same thing. This is page 1, right? So we're just gonna come over here with that selected, and we're gonna come to type, hyperlinks, cross references, and say new hyperlink. All right. Now what we're going to do is link to page, same thing, right? And what we're going to do here is we're going to say, we're going to just take that to page 2. All right. And that's it. We'll say, okay. Okay. Now I'm going to save this. Now we'll export it as PDF. File, export. And we'll keep the same name. It's going to replace the old one, right? But that's okay. So we'll save it. There's the replace. It's going to give me my color mode warning, and I'm not worried about that at this point. But at any rate, right now, here's what we have. Okay, here is our main navigation. And you can mark this any way you want. Okay, so here we can see that in this example, it's marked as navigation, right? Mine is just set up a little bit differently, but that's okay. You can mark it any way you want. At any rate, so what we're going to do at this point is go to the actual PDF. Here's the PDF. See, there's a link. These are all links. There's page 2, back to page 1, over to page 4, over to page 2. Let's go back to page 1. We can see the viewer sees now, like I said, all your graphics will be in place here, but the viewer sees this, okay? The viewer's going to click on it, and there it goes to page 2. And that's all you'll do here is you'll just add those where you want the viewer to click, and it will take you to that. You can even add a still of a videos in here. You can do anything you want in here. Now, note the scroll doesn't work, right? And the reason being is because it's a static PDF. It's not a interactive prototyping tool, or it doesn't involve HTML coding, so we can't scroll, right? But that's okay. It's a perfectly functional way to show your prototype. All right, guys, that's what I have, and I hope this helps. And again, this is just one way to do it. Of course, you can take this as far as you want, guys. Take it as far as you want. These should be at least medium fidelity, if not high fidelity, meaning they should all of your pictures, all of your elements, all of your assets should be in place on all of your screens before you do any kind of functionality here in terms of hyperlinks. So, of course, you go through and, you know, here's a page forward right here. And we can see that is demonstrated right here where you have, there's the page forward. And I think one of these is actually, yeah, that one right there, it's a page forward. Okay, so you can even do that. You can select that right there, that guy right there, create a hyperlink and link it to the next page. And it's that simple, guys. And that is kind of a low-tech way of doing it, but nonetheless, perfectly feasible way of showing your viewer the functionality of your mobile app. Okay, guys, questions, comments, concerns at all, please let me know. Thank you very much.